Good morning, everyone. My name is Lori Lytle, and I'm hosting Mortgage Coaches Training Thursday. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to start out with the mobile app, and then we're really going to be focusing on the report today. So first, before we start off, I want to launch a couple polls. So Marcy, if you can help me out, let's go ahead and launch the first poll. Have you created more than 5 TCAs? So be honest, let's know what you're doing out there in Edge. We got 27% voted. We need to increase that to 75%, so please put your vote in there. So right there, that's telling us we currently have 67% saying no. So this is good. This is a great starting point because I can show you how you can use those reports, creating one, and really start building from that. So, okay, Marcy, let's go ahead and close that poll out. Our next poll is, let's go ahead and roll into the next one. There we go. Do you offer MI options to your borrowers? Do you provide them the monthly MI? Do you show lender paid MI? And then I also have single premium. So do you show these options to the borrower? Great, I got 55, 83% is yes. I do have 17% no. I'm curious on those ones that knows, just never thought of showing that, or possibly your company doesn't offer those different options. If you want to put it in the question area, give me an idea. Okay, let's go ahead and close out this poll and ask for the next one. And with this one, we're going to focus on, just one moment, get my mouse here. Okay, great. So have you used, I believe it's a Mortgage Coach Live. Yes, Edge Live. Okay, okay. So far we have no one using Edge Live. So this is a great call for you to listen to because this is really the best piece of Edge. So great. So we'll show you how to use that because we're going to have a special training next week on it. So, okay, and our last poll. There we go. And have you used the Mortgage Coach app? Have you downloaded it? Okay, we've got quite a few people who have, a few haven't. So we will go through that process a little bit, show you how to download it and how you'll be able to use it as well as using it with your clients. So we'll focus on that. Okay, just a few more. Great. Okay, Marcia, let's go ahead and close out that poll. Okay, and I believe we're done with our polling questions. I think that's it. Okay, so let's get started. So first thing I want to do, if you have a mobile app, please have that handy. If it's a mobile phone, iPad, tablet, whichever one you may have. I have an iPad. They both work similar. You just need to go to your App Store first. So I'm going to my App Store. If you have an Android device, it is your Play Store. So I could go ahead and click on my App Store. So now with it, each of those app stores, you have a search engine. So in that search engine, you just want to type in Mortgage Coach. So with this, what we're going to do is not only download the Mortgage Coach app, but as well as the RateWatch app. So you have access to both. You have access to be able to monitor the mortgage-backed securities through the RateWatch app. And then we have our Mortgage Coach viewer of the reports. We're going to talk a little bit more on some new features that are coming out with the Mortgage Coach app. So what you need to do is download both of these apps, and you can have it on your computer. What we're going to do is first discuss the RateWatch app. After we're done with that, we're going to dive into the Mortgage Coach app and really work that with today's training. So I'm going to go ahead and go out of here, and let's go to my Mortgage Coach app. So this is what it looks like. That's the icon. Whoops, first I want to go into RateWatch. Apologies. RateWatch icon's right above that. So you can see that RateWatch icon. You would just use the same login ID, which should be your email address, that you use with Edge. So they both work in conjunction. You just log in with your email address as well as your password. If you don't know what that is, email us at support@mortgagecoach.com and we could provide that to you. So what I'm also going to do is bring over our desktop version. So we have our mobile app, which is on our left-hand side, and our desktop, which is on the right-hand side. So with that, you can see at the top on the desktop, we have our different tabs: Home, Daywatch, Commentary, and Lenders. On the mobile app, you'll see in the upper left-hand corner the button to use to see the menu here. So we have those same options, Daywatch as well as Alerts, Edge Views, Commentary, and Lenders. So with that, just to be able to first review our home page, which is right here, what we do is provide the candlestick chart, so you'll be able to see the opening, the close, and the highs and the lows of that particular time period. You can see it's green because today is a favorable day. I also want to point out in the upper right-hand corner that share button. With that share button, you can share your advice if with a partner or a borrower, be able to show them how those mortgage-backed securities are moving and how they relate to interest rates. So you can email it, you can SMS it, you can also send this directly to Facebook, copy it to Clipboard, any of those options. If you're on the desktop version, you might, to have this downloaded, you might have to have IT help you. But all you have to do is do a right click and you can copy it or you can print that graph. So you have the option on the desktop as well. So now going back to the mobile app, you have Daywatch. So let's go ahead and click on Daywatch, which at the top, I have a tab there. And you can see how the rates are moving today. So with that, you also have the option to share that on the mobile device as well through the email, SMS, or Facebook. Right-click on the desktop. So you have both ways of sharing that data. I also want to point out, which is good, is there's on the mobile device, upper right-hand corner, there's a date button. You can go back at any point in time to see how the rates were moving at that point. You can also see it on the desktop version. You can click on that calendar, and you'd be able to identify the dates then. So just to pick out a date, let's just do Monday the 4th. You can see how the mortgage-backed securities moved at that date. Same if I do that here. So, and then it will go ahead and modify it and show you those securities. So you have the option to be able to show that. Moving back to the menu bar, you want to go to Alerts. What Alerts will do is provide you the different alerts throughout the day on the mortgage-backed security. So you have the option. You also have the option to receive this as well as the text alerts. So we'll show you how you can set those up. Next we have is Edge Views. So as we start working with our reports and your borrowers or partners start closing them out, you're going to see an email alert. And with those alerts, besides receiving the email, you can also see them through your rate watch. So you can see all the different alerts that I have at that point in time, how long they were reviewed, and at what point in time. So you'll be able to receive those on your mobile app as well. We have our commentary. So if you want to view your commentary, we have that option. Dan Rotwich provides us a video piece that on a daily basis you'll be able to watch that as well as economic data. So you have all that information within our commentary area. If you ever want to do any kind of quoting from that data, just quote the source, and you can always, if you're not sure how to do that, just email us at support and we can help you with that. And lastly, I want to go ahead and click on Settings. And with Settings, this is where you set up your email alerts and such. So if you click on that arrow, you can go ahead and identify what you want to be able to receive, put in your phone number for your cell phone. You can also update your scheduler to be able to identify what time you want to receive those alerts. And then you also have that help button. And on the desktop version, I just want to point out, to get to the settings, it's in the upper right-hand corner, that little grommet right there. It pops out a screen. You can identify what you want to receive as well as your phone number, what time, and then also you have different options here. You can enable Edge Views. So always, once you're done, just press Submit, and that goes ahead and submits it to the system. So those are the RateWatch app as well as our desktop version. So now what I want to do is let's go, you should have the Mortgage Coach app now downloaded. So let's go ahead and open up our Mortgage Coach app. And what we're going to do today is work with our report for MI. So I'm going to show you how you'll be able to create the report, but I'm also going to show you how you'll be able to use this report as a marketing piece and just be able to keep it at hand. We're also going to focus today on understanding the report, finding out where certain data is behind those more info areas, how to locate it, so you could just become more familiar with the report, because once you're familiar with the report, I believe learning the different scenarios, you already know what you want to compare. We have lots of trainings on that, but the key is understanding the report and how to deliver that report to the borrower. So with that, first off, let's just discuss the report itself. And then we're going to go ahead and bring back that mobile device and work with Edge Live. What I also want to do is if you have any items you want to really focus on and understand on the report, please open up the question area, address those questions to me, let me show you where those items are in the report. I also want to point out items later and ask you to identify where they're at. Again, it's just getting more familiar with the report and being able to provide that to your borrower. So what we have here is our total cost analysis. So this I have as a marketing piece. This is a great report to create, especially if you provide MI options, to have it in your arsenal, to have it on your mobile device, have it in your emails. This way you'll be able to share that when you come along a person who might be interested in receiving a loan option. You'll be able to provide them an information of what you offer. And it's a great, in a way, a mobile business card. So we'll focus a little bit more on how to create this report as like a marketing piece. So what I have here, I actually have the borrower's version. Let me go ahead and pull up my report. And let's pull up the report so I can do some highlighting for you. And we'll discuss why I know that wasn't the correct report. So with it, so I have my MI options here. And what I have done is I've created this report for my borrower, and I went ahead and highlighted certain areas. So when they receive this report, it's going to be pre-highlighted. What I'm also going to do is in the lower right-hand corner, you'll notice there's a share button. I'm able to go ahead and copy that link, and I'm going to place it in the chat area. If you want to click on that link, you could go ahead and have an Edge report either on your mobile device, which I'll show you shortly how you can put that in your mobile device. We'll walk through it. But if you have two screens, it's great to have it open on one of the screens while you're watching the training on the other. So with it, what I did is I highlighted the loan amounts. So it shows right now that I have all even loan amounts. I didn't add the subsidy. No, I didn't know that, Blaney. I've been told that my presentation's cut off on the screen. So I see a full report. Anyone else see a full report, or is it being cut off? Let's see, maybe I can shrink it in a little bit. Oh, okay, got a few of you. Okay, only upper left-hand corner showing. Okay, let me turn off my reflector. Let's see if that will help us out. Thank you for letting me know, because, okay, how is it, now is it showing better? No. Okay, just a moment. Okay, so let me work with that, but not a full report. Okay, so, but you can see the left-hand corner here, correct? Because what I'll do is focus on the left-hand corner. Perfect. And then let me get some assistance so I can get a full screen. Just one moment. Okay, did that fix it, everyone? Do you see my full screen now? No, you don't. What about now? I feel like a Verizon commercial. What about now? Can you see it? Oh, okay, great. Okay, now I know how to fix that one. So perfect. Okay, let's continue on. So with that, if you're providing an email loan quote to your borrowers, again, it's all in words and it's all in numbers. Same with an Excel. So that's, in a sense, what the summary area is. It's providing you that numerical numbers that you usually provide your clients, the fee worksheet, things like that. But with the report, by having these graphs on here, it's a different way. Okay, so do you see my screen now, my report? Okay, now you can see it. Okay, we can continue on. Thank you for being patient, everyone. Okay, so as I was saying, in the upper left-hand corner is the numerical information. So what we're able to provide is your loan comparison side by side. So right now, if you're providing a fee worksheet, you need to do one of each for a borrower. You need to type, if you're doing an email quote, you need to provide different options, the different APRs. By having an EDGE report, you're providing it all in one format. So with that, what we're doing is providing that monthly MI, our lender paid MI, and our single premium. And for those of you who have clicked on the link, you'll be able to see that I have highlighted each of those columns on the report that you clicked on. How I'm doing it is just right-clicking, and that's how I'm going to be able to point out items to you. It's just going over the field, and I'm left-clicking, and that's what highlights it. At the very bottom, I have a Clear All button, which clears out my highlights. So what we're going to do is, you can see I have even loan amounts. One of the changes we're going to use in EDGE Live is add that subsidy amount to the loan amount instead of having a higher cash to close. So you'll be able to point out those differences. So I'm going to show you how to be able to do that through EDGE Live. What the other difference is, one of the items I highlighted was the interest rate, because with that lender paid MI, I have a higher interest rate. So that's another item I pointed out. So it depends what you want to be able to provide the borrower and be able to show. That's what you want to highlight before you send that presentation to the borrower. So with that, what I have done is highlighted this area. So we'll finish out this upper left-hand corner on what it provides you. So besides the basic information, the loan amount, interest rate, APR, and term, as well as your pity payment, you can go into the More Info button and really dive deeper. So with that, there's a couple different options where you can really break down that payment. So you can discuss the difference in the P&I, because you do have that higher rate. You can also point out that the single MI has the same P&I as the monthly option. So again, remember, your borrowers don't understand all these little bits of information, and with using EDGE Live and the highlighting, you can easily educate them and make that decision a lot quicker, because they'll be able to see it and you're pointing it out. You'll be able to provide the options of tax insurance, how that's all the same amount, and then you could show that how the monthly MI is showing the monthly MI amount, but the other two options do not have it. So you can really dive in and really explain the difference between the loan options to the borrower. And then as well, we have the full pity payment right at the base of that. Next, you have your closing cost tab. So this is your fee worksheet. So in this screen, you're going to be able to find out your down payment, or if you're doing a refinance, this is where you find your equity amount. You also have your LTV in this area too. So if you're discussing LTV and when MI cuts off, you'd be able to show where the LTV starts at for your particular loan. We lump sum all the fees as lump sum as APR, non-APR. If you're providing points or rebates, that can show as a negative. But you're also showing the upfront MIP if it's FHA, VA funding fee, guarantee fee, or that single premium, which we're showing on that third option. So you would be able to point out the difference in the fee aspect for that particular product. You can also dive in further. So you can see how The fees are just slightly different on that lender-paid MI, and the only difference is the prepaid interest. But you could dive into your fee details. You can see all the different fees. When we work with Edge Live, you can also see how you can highlight a particular fee, and it will highlight on the report. So again, the borrower will be able to follow along with you as you're discussing different fees, different payment options as well. But here's the prepaid interest because of my different interest rates. You can see the figure there, as well as in my fee details for the next product, how it's a little bit higher because of that interest rate. So that's the difference between these particular fees scenarios. So a lot of information here. You'll also be able to point out what fee is APR. You'll notice that the fees are broken down alphabetically, which is a requirement for the new August 1st guidelines. So you have it alphabetically, which is very easy for the borrower then to find a fee. If you're discussing a certain type of fee, they'd be able to know because it's alphabetical. You also can point out your APR fees, prepaid escrows, those are like your reserves. And then if the fee is financed into the loan amount, you'll be able to point out here as well. So a lot of information within here, but again, compared to a fee worksheet, you're able to point out and discuss each of those fees if you choose to with the borrower. Fee worksheet, the borrower's on their own following with you through that audio. So that's what another piece about using Edge Live. So with that, we also have the reinvestment strategy. I did nothing with that right now, but you can really dive into showing even payments. And with that even payments, it's the fact that some people are saying, yeah, I might have more savings here. It's because of X, Y, Z. Well, that's fine. You can make it even. You can reinvest the MI once it's dropped. So you can really show them even payments and really what is the best for the loan. So we'll discuss that with Edge Live. So with that, you went through the more info, saw all that details that we provide. We also have that payment stream. So if you wanted to go in here, you can see how you have MI, and then the MI drops from the loan, and it's just the standard P&I payment. You can see that with the rest of it, the different loans that they do not have MI. So now what we'll do is just focus on our monthly payment savings in the upper right-hand corner. So with that, you'll notice that the monthly MI there's no graph. It's because that's the highest cost loan. And I'm clearing out my highlights through the clear all button at the bottom center. And let's just focus at the payment. So you can see how that first option, the monthly MI, has a higher payment than the other two options. And that's what is showing on the graph. So those for a visual learner are able to look at it really quick and see, okay, I'm saving $23, $163 in the various products. So it's a quick way without them having to do the math. So it's a visual of learning, and then you could dive into the more info and, again, provide more information about that monthly payment. So you just have the loan amount, the rate, APR, and items like that for that monthly payment breakdown. We also have, if you have a second lien, it will provide that information below. And actually, with this report, I do have an 80-10-10 product with it that I'm going to add. It's already built into this report. So that's another item with Edge Live, how you can have products built and show at a later point of time. And I'll be able to show you that shortly. And then we'll discuss how you'll be able to do an 80-10-10 as well. So now we're going into our short-term savings. Our short-term savings I have at 48 months. Usually this is a standard 60. Let me just go ahead and modify that real quick so I could discuss the 60 amount. All the items I have just done dancing around on the screen right there, we'll go through with that a little bit with Edge Live. So now you'll see that it's 60 months for my short-term area. Lender-paid MI is the highest cost. If I was just comparing my monthly cost, I would have definitely not chose that monthly MI, but one of the other two products, because that's my higher cost. But over a 5-year period, you could see how really that lender-paid MI product is the higher cost than the monthly MI, as well as the single premium. And how to explain this is go into your more info, and what are we comparing? We're comparing the non-recoverable costs. Those are items that the borrower really doesn't think of. That's the interest in MI that's been accrued over that 60-month period. So that's money that's being paid out for the loan. It's cost of the loan. They're not getting a benefit from it. That as well as their fees, their closing points and closing costs. So you add that to the total interest and MI paid, and then we get our total closing costs. That's where we do our comparison, and that's what we determine which is the highest cost loan. And with that, you can see with that higher interest rate that even though you have MI on the other two items, the MI is really, or the higher interest rate is what's driving it. So you can really be able to show the borrower the highest cost loan over a period of time. And we're going to work with this period of time when we go into Edge Live. And we can show you how you can use this with your conversation and the goals of the borrower. So we'll come back to this and discuss this a little bit more. But this is a box. You need to become a little bit familiar with it. The loan estimate that will be coming out in August does describe the interest over the 5-year period. It's a discussion that you're going to need to start having. So start learning it with Edge, providing that conversation to your borrower. Then lastly, on the right-hand side, you have your interest and MI paid over 15 years. So we do have an option, and I'll show you later, where you could show net worth or you could show principal paid over a period of time. And just like the short term, long term also can have the 15 modified. So again, that's for your goals. You know, talking to the borrower, when do they plan to move? When do they plan to stay in their house? How long? So those are the goals you're going to be able to talk about and use Edge Live with and really customize the report for the borrower. So now with that, you can see how the different costs with the different products. The highest savings is that single premium MI. Highest cost is that lender paid MI. So let's dive into it. Let's see what other information you can get behind the interest in MI. You have your home value. With that, we do have a property appreciation rate. You can determine what rate is going in that field based on your area. And then you'd be able to show them if it does appreciate in that 15-year period, this is what the home value would be. This is the loan balance at the end of that 15-year period. Gives them an idea what is still owed on that loan, how much equity they build up, the total principal they paid, as well as how much total pity payments they've made. So a lot of details, again, going into that report. So now if a borrower, they have the report, they've seen it on the mobile, they've seen it on the desktop, but they really want a hard copy. I get this question a lot is, my borrower wants to see a hard copy. So in the bottom right-hand corner, you have your print button, and you also have it as a save as a PDF. So if I click on print, the borrower can do this as well, they would be able to print off a copy of that report. Also on page 4, you'd be able to see that they have the fees, so they'd be able to lay them side by side and do a comparison, and they would have all their fees right there side by side, whereas if it was another lender, they would have all those fee sheets all over the place. Next, they can also save it as a PDF, so they can always have a hard copy and they would be able to save it. So they have the options to both print and save. So never send them a hard copy or a PDF. Always save them, send them the link, and I'll show you how shortly. So now that we discussed each of the segments in the quadrants of the report, understood the report a little bit more, now let's show you Edge Live and what Edge Live can do and how you can hold that conversation with the borrower. So what I'm going to do is grab that link. I'm grabbing it. A quick way of doing it is through my share button. And I'm going to open a new tab. I'm pasting that link in there. I'll also show you how you could do this and put it in your mobile device as well. So once I press return, I have my report opened up, and you can see that I have the I understand button. So let's go ahead and remove this from my web page, and I'm going to put this on my side of the screen here. Okay, so what I'm doing to give you a better understanding of how Edge Live works is to provide a side-by-side way of seeing how you'd be able to use it. So not only am I doing that, I'm going to bring in my mobile device and be able to show you how to be able to also drive the mobile device. So let's bring this back over. and put it in the lower corner. So first what I want to do is anyone who has that their mobile device, let's go ahead and put in the ID in this area. So what you could do is bring up the Mortgage Coach icon right here, click on that. If it's the first time you've used Mortgage Coach, you do have a history. This shows that I went into my sample file from Joe Prither, the president of Mortgage Coach. You can see that in the sample total cost area. And what I want to do is put in our link to our report in this area. You can either just remove the number here and place it with the number I'm telling you, or go ahead and remove this altogether. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and clear that out. And let's get our ID real quick. Okay, I'm going to read this to you because it's quite faint. So what it is 16RZ T5. So you can have the full link, but you only need the numbers of the report in this line to bring up the report. So now I'm going to press the arrow, and it's going to enter into my report. Next week, you'll see in the upper right-hand corner that little icon with the person. We'll be able to show you how to be able to use that by capturing a video as well as using Edge Live. Okay, so I have my report up. I'm in a test environment, and I'm linked to Prime Lending's account, so that's why this is slightly different. I'm testing my iPad. You'll see the borrower has the I understand. So as soon as they click I understand, they're able to access the report. You'll notice on the very bottom, I have a clear all button, but on the right-hand side, there is no clear all button, which means the borrower cannot clear out any highlights, but you can through that clear all button. So when I press clear all, it will not only clear out the highlights on my copy, it cleared out the highlights on the borrower's copy as well as the mobile device. So now there's no highlighting at all. Also point out, I have 9 viewers reviewing the report. So that tells you if your borrower is following along as well. So if you've ever been on the phone and they're reviewing the fee cost sheet, and sometimes you're wondering if they're ever reviewing it with you, you have a way of at least knowing that they have that report up. They are viewing that report. So I have it here once, twice, and then we have 7 other people viewing the report as well. So now what you would be able to do is discuss the report. So if, say we want to discuss the monthly MI option. Oops, let's go ahead and highlight it. You can see once I've highlighted it on my, this would be the loan officer's copy with the clear all button, that it went ahead and highlighted the MI option, and then it also highlighted the MI option on the mobile device. Why I'm doing this, like as I click on the lender paid MI, I'm going to drive the report on the desktop as well as the mobile device. So this is what Edge Live is. Okay, the link again, Jason, just one moment. One, it's in the chat area, but the number itself, whoops, let me just, another way just to show you how to go back out. Upper right-hand corner, you could press back, and then you could slide again to the left. I went ahead and slid. So it's 16RZ T as in Tom 5. Oh, got it. Perfect. So click on it, move on. Bring this down. Okay, there we go. So you can see how that's loading up for me. Okay, so now with it, let's go ahead and click on the single premium. So you can see how you'd be able to discuss each of those loan options and drive the report with the borrower. So I'm going to go ahead and clear all the highlights out. And now what we're going to do is discuss the different payment options. So I want to discuss the more info. So with that, you'll notice at the very base of the mobile device, you have the different tabs. So now we're in the payment breakdown. On the desktop, I drove the report to open the payment breakdown tab. And now let's discuss the P&I payment. So you can see with the lender paid with the higher interest rate, you have a higher P&I payment. So with that, you'll be able to drive the conversation with the borrower, and you'll be able to see how you can highlight the different areas, show how the MI is on the one product and not on the other two products. So then you could go ahead and discuss the closing costs. So with the closing costs, you can see how I just drove the report. So do you guys see my screen? I noticed my report's gone. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put the mobile device aside. But you can see how it could drive on the mobile device as well as the desktop. But want to point out your closing costs. You'd be able to highlight the down payment, show them how much their down payment was, dive into those fee details. You could see how it opens up on the mobile device as well as the desktop. How I mentioned it earlier, say you wanted to talk about the processing fee. You could see on the right-hand side that it went ahead and highlighted the processing fee. Say you want to discuss the hazard insurance as well as the reserves. So you could see how you could guide the conversation with the borrower and really dive into all the questions that they may have. And with that, you're going to speed up the commitment time because you've just become the trusted advisor of really explaining those details. Now, we talked about earlier about level payments. And level payments, what we can do is make modifications to our applying amounts to principal. You can see how initially we're saving $23.42 a month on lender paid MI. Let's go ahead and make that level monthly payment with the monthly MI. We're also saving with that single MI premium. So you have that $162 you want to save as well. So with that, let me show you how you'll be able to do that. So if I close out of the report, see how it closed out the borrower's copy as well. Now I'm logging into my Edge account. So once I logged into my Edge account, I'm going to my analysis screen. So with that, let me just go ahead and open up the screen so it's a little bit easier for you to see. I'm going into my Adjust Reinvestment Strategy. You'll notice once I go in here, you'll start seeing that 80-10-10 that I talked to you about. So you can see I have that product, but I haven't displayed it yet. So I'm going to wait a little bit before I display that. And let's just talk about adding additional money toward principal. So let's make our monthly payments even. So what I have done is take the savings of these two, and now the monthly payment is equal. And by making it equal, you can see how on the monthly MI option, it is a 30-year term. But by applying that additional savings, it's a little less than 30 years. But you can see how that single premium MI, it's really dropped it. So let's see how this looks at on the report. So I'm pressing OK. Always advance the screen. That initiates the save. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the report. And with that, you'll notice it was already quick. We have a line now called Reduction of Payment. With that, you'll be able to see how much is being applied as well as a new freedom point. So those are the options as well as diving into the More Info button. With the More Info button, you'll see in the payment breakdown, we also show that reduction payment. So we could show the total payment if they chose to make that total payment. You can see how they're all even. So now also let's go to the reinvestment strategy. With that, you can see how I highlighted and it's been updated as well as that freedom point. So what happens at 6.83 years? We now don't have to pay MI. Let's reinvest that mortgage insurance, again, level payment. So let's dive into Edge and let's go ahead and reinvest mortgage insurance. So by clicking on Edge, I'm going back to that analysis screen just by clicking on it. Let's go into the reinvestment strategy. And what I'm going to do in the reduction payment field for that monthly MI is double click. So let's double click on that field. And you'll see at the base of this new box, it says MI cutoff month. So the month of 82, there's no more MI, and they were paying $162.75. So I just clicked on the field up here, and I put in month 82, and let's put in the dollar amount of $162.75. So once I've done that, I press OK, and now I've reinvested that MI, and the Freedom Point now has dropped as well. So let's go take a look at the report, advance the screen. That always initiates that save, and let's check out our comparison. So you'll notice on the right-hand side or left-hand side, it's already made the update, and now it's just made it on the right-hand side for the borrower. So with that, you see the word custom. So if you click on the more info, you'll be able to see there's a custom button that you could click on and show them that on month 82, you're adding that monthly MI back. So you'll be able to provide that information to your borrower. So you can see how you can really drive the report. So now I mentioned on the short term and the long term how you'd be able to talk about the goals. So if you're talking to the borrower, and you start getting that conversation going, how long do they plan on staying in the house? Do they have young kids? This is it. They really don't plan on moving. Possibly they know, the kids are at that age. They're going to move in 3 or 4 years. Whatever that conversation may be, you can go into Edge. So I'm going to go back to Edge. And to get you familiar with it, you go to the analysis screen. And now you can hold that conversation with the short term and the long term. So with the short term, say they're in the military. They know they're going to be moving in 4 years. So you can put in the 48-year month mark and see what the savings would be here. So you can just really play around with it. If you're doing refinances, you can find out where that break-even point. You'll notice here that because of the cost of the MI, single premium, I haven't recouped that cost yet. So you can see how the lender paid MI is more than that single premium. At this point, they should not get this loan if they were holding a loan for less than 2 years. So you can see how you can have that conversation of the goals of the borrower, how long they plan on staying in the house, really what is that best option. So let's keep it at 24 and just take a look at that report. So once you get to the report, you'll see that the 60 is going to change into 24 months. And you can see it's already done on the borrower's copy, and now it's done on yours. So you could be able to show them, really dive into what their goals are. So this is a good point. They plan on moving in 2 years. You might suggest, well, definitely the single premium, even though there's the most savings, you haven't recouped the cost, and you'll be able to provide the information here. Oh, I've got the wrong report open. Let's go into this one. I have no clear all button at the bottom, and I wasn't able to clear or highlight for you. So then you'll be able to hold that discussion. The single premium part of the MI, it's totaled in here. Your fees are the same, but it's just the cost of having that single premium is what's doing it. So with that, you'll be able to hold the conversation and really show them in that graphical format. So go back to Edge, go into the analysis screen. Let's open that up. So let's check out 36 months. So by 3 years, they've recouped the cost, and now the lender paid MI is the highest cost loan. So you can see that conversation and how you'd be able to drive that on the report to show them what's the best savings, what is that best loan option. So another item you'd be able to do, because we did use that reinvestment strategy, you can show net worth. So if I click on net worth, let's see what that looks like on the report. So you'll see that the interest in MI is going to change to net worth. And it will do so on the borrower's copy as well. So you can see the highest net worth is the single premium MI. So by doing that, you could go into your more info button, and you'll be able to see all the information here and how it lines up. So if you're working with that reinvestment strategy, it's also a great way, and you can do it when you're working with Edge Live. Show them the net worth besides that interest and MI column. You can also go back into Edge. Let's go back into the analysis screen. You can also show them principal paid. So if I mark principal paid, you'll see that the report for the borrower it's going to go ahead and update and show the principal amount that's been paid. So let's see, it just bumped, and you can see how much money is being applied to a principal in comparison with each product. So with that, it gives you an idea. I hope the understanding of Edge Live. Do you have any ideas or questions regarding surrounding Edge Live? What you can do a little further, let me know. Let me address those questions. Other options I want to be able to point out is, let's go to that single premium. So with that, you can see we have the same loan amount, and we have that amount as cash to close. You can always show it added to the loan amount. Remember, always advance the screen. That triggers the save. And then you'd be able to discuss with the borrower the increased loan amount, the decrease in cash to close, and be able to hold that conversation with the borrower. There we go. It all flips now. So you can see how all the difference is the increase of the payment, but they still have a savings over that monthly MI. And then you can see how the cash to close, except for the interest, is basically the same here. So you'll be able to provide that to the borrower as well. So I just changed the report and added that single premium amount to the loan amount. So now let's go in and let's bring in that fourth product. So I'm going into Edge. Let's open up the screen a little bit so it's easier to see. And what I'm doing is I hover my mouse over presentation, and I'm going into select report. You'll see that you have all your products lined out toward the base. You'll notice that 80-10-10, I do not have it marked. As soon as I mark it, advance the screen left or right, trigger the save, and you'll be able to see how the report is going to update and provide you a fourth product. So this is also going to update not only the desktop version, it will update the mobile as well. So as soon as it gets triggered, you can see I just added that fourth product, and now the borrower is looking at the fourth product. And now you could discuss an 80-10-10. So with that, let me open this up a little bit, the report. A couple things different besides having a fourth product. Go into the More Info button and the monthly payment savings. How I mentioned before that the second lien, information is right here. So you can see how none of the other products have a second lien except that fourth product that we just added. So just as you add a product, you can always go back into Edge and remove a product. So maybe they don't want to see the 80-10-10 and they don't want to see lender paid MI. Go ahead and advance the screen. And then let's go ahead and take a look at the report. Sorry to modify it for me. And you can see how now the report is only 2 products. And then you can focus on the monthly MI and the single premium, which is the best. You can also then compare against the lender paid MI and monthly MI and see which is the better product there. So you can see how even though you're starting out with 3 products, you could show them 4, you could strip it down to 2 and be able to really show those different comparisons. So now we're comparing against the lender paid MI versus single premium and what is the cost. And you'll see how we have that 36 months in here. As soon as I open that up to 60, you'll see the savings there. Okay, well, let's go back to the report. And then we'll jump, and now you'll see the savings at the 5-year mark. But again, it's doing the comparison just with these 2 products and being able to show which is the better of the 2 to provide your borrower. Okay. So with that, pretty much I am going to be wrapping up the call. Wanted to point out Edge Live. Next week what we're going to do is what I want everyone on the call to do is create a report. It would be great if you create this MI option product, monthly MI, lender paid MI, single premium, and if you choose to an 80-10-10. What we're going to do next week is we're going to focus on the mobile. So with this week, I want you to use Edge Live, share the link with someone in your office, share it with a friend, get familiar with Edge Live. When I do a poll next week, I want you on it, and I want you to mark on it you've used Edge Live. Then what we're going to do is work with the mobile device. The mobile device, you will be able to use Edge Live through the mobile device. So if you're out on an appointment in between, you notice your borrower has viewed, you got the email alert, you need to reach out to them, you can use your mobile device and not just the desktop to drive Edge Live. So that's a new feature we have. We're going to show it next week, as well as being able to take a video with your mobile device. So not just being linked to the desktop, what's sort of cool about the video is you'll be able to create an open house flyer and be able to do a walkthrough with the video and your mobile device and discuss the house, as well as joint video with your partner if you choose to, and have that on your report. So that's what we're going to be covering next week. Our new features with the mobile device, creating a video through the mobile, as well as using Edge Live through the mobile. So I'd like you to get on Edge Live, use it this week, and so next week you really can dive into the mobile device in Edge Live and really do well. So I'm going to launch our last poll, and then what I would like to do is if you have any questions, I'm going to be sticking around for a few, and I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have. So with that, I'll go ahead and launch the poll, and we'll talk to you next week. Make sure you bring your mobile device with you.